All right, welcome back to In Depth here on Lotus Radio. My second round of guests. You go by Vapor and Rev, but I want to get your real names real quick if you could do that for me.
Yeah. My name's Randy Seaver.
Randy Seaver.
And I'm Chris Gerasi.
Chris Gerasi. And you are with what organization?
Bikers Against Child Abuse. We're the Reno chapter.
The Reno chapter. So that implies that this is more than just here.
Yes, sir. It's an international organization in 47 states in the United States and 11 foreign countries.
Oh, wow. 11 foreign countries, really?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you two get involved with this organization?
Well, I was around when we first started gathering folks here about 3 years ago, and I ran, actually about 5 years ago, I ran into a couple guys down at Street Fives who had BACA back patches, and I thought, wow, that's interesting, and I chased them down, and they gave me a brochure and talked to me a little bit about it, and I tried to find out more about it because I thought we ought to have something like that here, and I couldn't get anybody to return a phone call back then, but a couple years later, it became a Facebook phenomenon, and it seems like there was videos all over Facebook about what we do, and people kept tagging me and saying, you got to do this. I said, well, no kidding.
Well, I got to answer the call then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I made a few phone calls again, and this time there was more activity and people to help. And long story short, we gathered some folks together down in Carson, actually, originally, and that was the beginning of our local chapter here. It took us about a little over 2.5 years to get a chapter formed and chartered formally.
Gotcha. And then, hey, Vapor, over here, how did you get involved with this organization?
I had some friends that had been riding, and they told me about the mission. I fell in love with it. And once they told me about it, and I met the original 7, it was amazing. I knew that was going to be my next home, my home away from home.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since.
Beautiful. So Bikers Against Child Abuse, how did this organization come about in the first place? Do you know like a little maybe of the history or the overview of it?
Yeah, the founding person was J.P. Lilly. His road name was Chief. And he's a licensed clinical social worker and a child play therapist supervisor in Utah. And he was working with abused children quite a bit and noticed that he'd have some great progress in his office, but then the kids would go home, and it's like they'd revert right back to where they were.
Yeah.
And that was pretty frustrating. And he just had this kind of a brainstorm idea. He was also a biker. He got some of his biker friends to ride with him over to this one child's house he was working with, and this child would not come out of his room, let alone out of the house, and he was terrified. And so Chief showed up with his friends, and they just hung out in the front door. The kid wouldn't come out, but he started looking out the window, and he saw the motorcycles. And kids all love motorcycles; they just love them. So,
how can you not?
Yeah,
for God's sake.
So so finally, the kid ends up coming out of the house, and getting on the bikes, and he took them for a little ride around the block. He wanted to go for a ride, and from that point forward, that child became a child again. He actually would come out and outside. He started going to school again and re-engaging with his friends, and the fear just left. And that was something that Chief had never seen before. And so that was sort of the birth of a new mission. Okay,
and in regards to that mission, what actions do you guys take with this organization to help children?
You mean with kids? Okay,
yeah, with children.
Yeah, what happens is we actually work with kids who have already been abused. And we have a helpline, which we encourage people to call if there's any chance that we could help a kid who's been abused. We kind of qualify the child, make sure it's a good fit for us. We don't get involved in domestic disputes and that kind of thing. You know?
Okay.
So it's really the kid needs to have been reported. That the abuse needs to be reported for the most part. And then if it's a good fit, the whole chapter will go, and many other chapters. We'll have other chapters from California and even down in Henderson come up and join us for what we call our introductory ride or level 1. Mm-hmm. And it's where we meet the child for the first time. The whole chapter does. And we make them part of our family. We bring them a little leather vest with their road name on it. We all have road names for safety's sake. And we bring them, depending on their age, we'll bring them a little teddy bear, a BACA teddy bear, or a blanket. And basically, we just kind of say, you're part of us. These are your brothers and sisters, and we're here to make sure that that you're safe.
Yeah. So do we mean what kind of abuse? Are we talking physical, mental?
Yes.
Runs the gamut pretty much.
Mental. It depends. If a child's afraid, if someone's hurt them and a child's afraid, that's our kid.
Okay. That's beautiful. That's a wonderful endeavor. And so I would actually love to hear about success stories. I mean, I'm sure you've had plenty of them. Is there one that sticks in your mind that just really, it just changed your life, Yeah.
Yeah, we've had quite a few. It's, even in the short period of time we've been involved in the area, we've had quite a few families, and I of course can't give you too many details. But there's one child who I remember there was 3 kids involved in this one family, and we rode up. They were all hiding behind their parents, whoever the guardians were at the time, and they were really, really shy at the beginning of our visit, and we took it very gently and very carefully, and by the end of that visit, literally all 3 of them were on the bikes, honking our horns, wanting to start them up. Two of them were too little to get on the bikes for a ride, but we took one for a ride. And it literally began, this is like parents said, this is the first time I've seen my kids smile since it happened.
Wow.
And we see the transformation happen in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Of course, we continue to visit with them. We have primary members who are assigned to each child, and they visit with them over a period of time on a regular basis. But whenever a child calls, they can call those primaries 24/7, and the primary will answer their phone and either talk them off the ledge of fear, or they'll actually go over to their house and sit with them until they're not afraid again, whether that's just for an hour or for a day, or for a week. They will sit there with them.
That's wonderful. And Chris, do you have something on your mind that you're like, wow, this is an amazing thing that happened to me in regards to this organization?
Well, I have been a primary.
Okay.
And to see my child, and there was 3 involved in this family, to see our children overcome their fear, to feel empowered. That's our mission, is to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. That's in our mission statement. That's what we do.
Yeah.
To see them smile, to see them be a kid again, to see them not be afraid, that is our goal. That is our mission. That's what we do. And when you ride up and you see the excitement in their eyes, and you see that they're in this world, they're thrust into an adult world, so we empower them to be children again. And when you see them be children and they come out and they've got their BACA bear, or they've got their BACA blanket, and they're wearing their cut, and they're all smiles, and they're just kids, that's what makes me feel like I've done my job. And it's not about me. It's not about Rev. It's not about anybody in our chapter. It's about those children. It's about letting those children be children.
Exactly. It's as simple as that.
That's exactly it.
Wonderful.
It's not about you. It's not about me. It's all about the kids.
Exactly. And how can people help with that, by the way? Is there volunteerism? You always accepting new members? Any financial needs you guys might have?
We are always looking for more people to join our mission. Unfortunately, we're in business to put ourselves out of business. We are supporters and our members. We always need somebody. We always need people in different facets of every walk of life.
Okay.
For the children to be able to count on us, we need all hands on deck.
Okay.
But, you have to be a biker.
It's in the name. It makes sense.
We're not, we're not accountants against child abuse. We're bikers against child abuse, and some of us would be accountants, but also bikers. So
can be both.
It's a very critical piece to our mission. It's why it works.
Okay.
And so you need to be a biker. You have to have a motorcycle that it will run and keep up, and or a designated seat on one.
Okay.
So that's just to be a fully patched member. That's part of what has to happen. You could be a support member and not have a seat or a motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
We have monthly meetings that happen. That the first portion is open to the public, and then we have a closed meeting afterwards that are just for cleared members. All of our members, by the way, are FBI background checked.
Okay.
And cleared that way. When
Beautiful.
we say cleared, that's what we mean, that they're safe to be around children.
Right.
So,
okay.
But we invite the general public to come to our meetings because nothing we do is secret other than what we do with with specific children, we don't give that information out. So.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. So when do you have the same day every month that you have your meetings? Or
yeah, we just switched it, actually. It's going to be the third Tuesday of each month.
Okay.
And we would love for people to come and join us. It starts at 6:30, a little social time, and the meeting starts at 7. Whenever that meeting gets done, we start the second meeting. All right. And it looks like we're going to be meeting at least next month in March 21st, whatever the third Tuesday is. Okay. Be at St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
I used to go there.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, so it'll be there in their fellowship hall. It's 21st, yeah. They've been very generous to allow us the space for free. And actually, Father Kirk's wife, Tricia, or we call her Tink. That's her road name.
Yeah,
she's a therapist, a child therapist, and actually on a state level, and she's on our board.
Okay,
she actually oversees our mission and helps us as members deal with what we hear and see in the lives of these abused kids, and also helps us know how to deal with certain cases that we deal with. So she's a great asset to our team.
Wonderful. And how more about you? Are you on, do you have a website, social media? Like
yeah, well, you could certainly look up on YouTube. There's 100 videos probably about BACA in general on YouTube. But our local helpline is 877-333-3097. Actually, that's a Nevada helpline. You can just dial through to Reno to get us. Okay. Again, that's 877-333-3097. And or you could visit www.bacaworld.org.
bacaworld.org.
Yes.
Okay.
And get tons of information there, including how we do our mission, what we do, what we don't do, that kind of thing.
Wonderful. Hey, I want to thank you both for coming in. This is a wonderful thing that you're doing. And if there's anything, do you want to add anything before we conclude the interview?
Just we want to help as many kids as possible. We'd love to get more referrals from agencies locally, law enforcement, whoever is working with abused kids. Please, please, please call the helpline. Find out about us. We'll come and visit. We'll do presentations. We'll do whatever we can to get more kids to a place of feeling safe again. Most therapists know that, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's the first bar on just a triangle. The first bar on the bottom is like physical needs, and the second bar is safety. Mm-hmm. And they will tell you, therapists will tell you that unless a child feels safe, that anything that needs to happen above that, which there's a lot, won't happen. Yeah. And we make kids feel safe, and that opens the door for them to get healthy and become healthy adults. And we know that some of us from personal experience that fear is a lousy motivator. Mm-hmm. It'll basically ruin your life and make you make really bad decisions. So we're happy to be able to eliminate fear in the lives of children who have every reason to be afraid. And we can help them not be afraid, and that changes the course of their life. So get involved with us, refer kids to us, call us, go on the website, let us know how we can help. We'd love to be able to help another kid.
Cool. Rev, Vapor, I want to thank you both for coming in. It's Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Thank you so
much.
And
hey, yeah, if you want to add something.
No, I was just going to tell you thank you very much for taking the time. And as Rev said, call us. We can use the help. We can use the referrals. The kids will not open up and feel safe on their own. They need the help. They need the empowerment. And that's what we're here to do, is help empower the children.
Gorgeous. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ian.